Star Wars Episode 9 recently wrapped production, and JJ Abrams has already started teasing what will happen in the finale to the Skywalker saga. One of the things he's been talking about is how he's not planning on retconning anything from the previous saga entry, the divisive Last Jedi. But there may actually still be a way for Rey to be a Skywalker, and it doesn't involve any retconning whatsoever. Can't get enough of these Star Wars film theories? Well then, check out our friend over on Behind the Screen for even more theories, lists, and everything film. One of the biggest mysteries left unanswered from 2015's The Force Awakens was just who are Rey's parents? The movie made it out to seem like there was somebody important, as it was a recurring event in the film. Was she the daughter of Luke, a long-lost daughter of Han and Leia? Is she, in fact, a descendant of Emperor Palpatine? Or perhaps she's the granddaughter of old Ben Kenobi, which may have seemed crazy if not for the fact that we hear Kenobi during the Force flashback sequence. But then The Last Jedi dropped a bombshell on both Rey and the audience. Kylo Ren, also known as Ben Solo in a different life, confirmed to Rey what she apparently knew all along.
They were nobody.
They were filthy junk traders.
And thus, the daughter of no one special. For many fans, this was a huge letdown, as years of speculation and a lot of teasing from Abrams seemed to hype Rey up as a seriously powerful individual, with a legacy family lineage. But what if we were to tell you that there is a way for JJ to keep his word and not retcon anything Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi, and open the door for Rey to still be a Skywalker, which would be the fan favorite theory for the character. We don't think that JJ will suddenly undo what Rian is established, but that doesn't mean Rey can't still become a Skywalker. Right now, you're probably either confused or calling for our heads for saying something so blasphemous. But hear us out. For us fans, the name Skywalker basically means Luke. He's the hero and protagonist of the original trilogy, and restarted the Jedi Order, albeit with some hesitation, after the events of Return of the Jedi. Depending on if you're a fan of the prequels, you may also think of Anakin, his father who is otherwise known as Darth Vader. These two figures have had such a tremendous impact on the galaxy as both saviors and villains. But if you dive further into the Star Wars canon, you'll begin to learn that there's more to the Skywalker name than just Luke and Anakin. For that information, you'll have to dive into Thrawn Alliances, the second canon book to be written by Timothy Zahn, the man who is largely regarded as the man who brought Star Wars back from years of inactivity when he first published the original Thrawn trilogy. Thrawn Alliances, the second book in the trilogy, came out in 2018 and focused on Thrawn's interactions with the Empire, specifically by undertaking a mission with Darth Vader himself. While this was happening, the action would flash back to the Clone Wars when Thrawn, a servant of the Chiss Ascendancy at the time, temporarily aligned himself with Anakin Skywalker in the unknown regions of space to investigate a disturbance in the Force. This trip includes a visit to Batuu, the in-universe location for the upcoming Galaxy's Edge attraction at Walt Disney World, and Disneyland in Anaheim. While working with Anakin, Thrawn reveals something quite interesting upon learning the Jedi Knight's full name. In order to navigate the hostile hyperspace lanes in that section of the galaxy, you need to tune to the Force in order to safely arrive at your destination. For Anakin, this is easy as he's a Jedi Knight and has a strong connection to the Force. The Chiss are also aware of the Force and have applied their own terminology for those who can navigate the stars while being guided by it. That term was, of course, Skywalker. Furthermore, in the 4th season of Rebels, the Jedi Temple shows off some carvings in the rocks showcasing Force-sensitive beings coming and going from the planet's surface to space without the help of any starship to get them out of the planet's atmosphere. While the name Skywalker is nowhere to be found, the implication is still the same. Some powerful beings found a way to travel among the stars using the power of the Force. The mural is likely deifying the Jedi by showing them to have godlike powers thanks to their mastery of the Force, allowing them to tower above and walk to the stars should they desire. Suddenly, the link between the name Skywalker to Luke and Anakin isn't as important as other individuals across the galaxy have been using the same name to describe their own Force-sensitive beings. The Skywalker name is now not exclusive to this one family and their problems. The term Skywalker Saga may apply to the family, but there is more to the word Skywalker Skywalker than this one lineage. Episode 9 has been promised as the end of the Skywalker saga. It'll be a bitter pill to swallow, but it's time to put them behind us and discover new stories with new characters. But what does the end of the Skywalker saga mean if there are no living people with the name Skywalker anymore? Leia, despite being born a Skywalker, has gone by Organa for her entire life after she was adopted by Bail. Likewise, Kylo Ren was born Ben Solo and took his father's adopted name. Yep, the only person with Skywalker blood who is still alive in the sequel trilogy is the angsty villain Kylo Ren, which makes the whole branding of the end of the Skywalker saga an unusual thing to tout, considering who's alive. On the flip side of the spectrum is Rey. So far, we don't even know what her family name is. She's strong with the Force, and has proven to be a valuable ally to the Resistance, and for ensuring the Jedi will live on in some way, shape, or form. The fact that Rey is the daughter of no one is one of the driving themes of The Last Jedi, that greatness can come from humble origins. The film doubles down on this message by ending the narrative with Broom Boy looking up at the stars. Despite learning later on of his lineage and place in the galaxy, Luke started his journey in a galaxy far, far away as a nobody, just like Rey. For all of his life, he was under the belief he was just a regular guy living in less than ideal conditions. Luke never knew his real parents, and lived in a desert wasteland with his farmer aunt and uncle. His only dream was to join the Imperial Academy and get away from the scorching hot suns of Tatooine and the sensation of feeling trapped and inconsequential in the universe. Little did he know that Luke would become one of the most important Jedi of all time. But while Luke was a Skywalker from the beginning, he began his quest as an everyman of sorts. He didn't have any known lineage backing him up. In other words, the Skywalker name was unimportant to both Luke and the narrative at large. As the original trilogy would continue, and with the introduction of the backstory in the prequel trilogy, we learned a lot more about what it means to be a Skywalker, and the weight that name carries, which is why we refer to the episodic films as the Skywalker saga, as it deals largely with their conflicts amidst the bigger picture. So how does that concept of the Skywalker saga fit in with the sequel trilogy, when there are seemingly no Skywalkers left? If Star Wars has taught us anything, it's that you don't need grand origins to be grand, nor do you need to be aware of them. Anakin started off as a slave, Luke a humble farm boy, and Rey was a scavenger. She certainly fits the mold of being an average, everyday person without a grand legacy that we're aware of. But she definitely embodies what it means to be a Skywalker. She's also extremely talented and powerful with the Force, possibly even being the most powerful Force user of all time. With that being said, Rey could potentially earn herself the title of Skywalker, rather than being born one. Luke Skywalker has been an inspiration for many people. We've seen how his actions have become the stuff of myths and legends.
Luke Skywalker? I thought he was a myth.
He's meant a lot of different things to different people over the years, and most of it stems from his awe-inspiring actions and his goodwill. In other words, Luke is a symbol. Rey is starting to become a symbol as well. People are starting to notice this scavenger from nowhere, with nobodies for parents. She'll likely be the one to set things right during the events of Episode 9. And with all that said and done, why shouldn't she be awarded the title of Skywalker? Star Wars has pulled elements from its lore from various stages of human history, and using a prefix name as a title is something that has been done before. Case in point, the Roman emperors would often be called Caesar, after Julius Caesar, despite not being born Caesar. Star Wars has also pulled a lot from ancient Roman history, so this concept already isn't too alien or out there for Star Wars. So while the Skywalker saga will likely end with the death or redemption of Kylo Ren and the eventual passing of Princess Leia in the timeline, the name and symbol of Skywalker will live on with Rey and her disciples through the next generation of Force users. When people hear the name Skywalker, both in-universe and in the fandom, they feel something special. So to have that name be awarded to special and extraordinary individuals could be a natural way to keep the Skywalker name around. A name that has become too important for the fans and to the franchise. But more importantly, the name Skywalker is one that brings hope and wonder to the citizens of the galaxy. When Rey first hears of the map of Luke Skywalker, she geeks out a bit.
The Jedi were real.
Even though she was on a desolate planet with almost no communications, she's heard the tales of Luke Skywalker, likely from other travelers bringing tall tales with them. She actually thought he was a fable or some sort of fairy tale, but her face lights up when she learned he was real. He has that effect on people, and despite being grumpy and defeated in The Last Jedi, he ultimately returned by the end to do the most selfless thing he could do: sacrifice himself to ensure that his friends and the Resistance can escape to fight another day. How did he do that? By doing the most pacifist thing ever and projecting his consciousness across the galaxy. That's a story that will pass into legend and has already begun inspiring others, such as Broom Kid back on the casino planet. With more battles to come, Rey can end the Skywalker saga by becoming a new symbol of hope for the Resistance and for the oppressed across the galaxy. They'll hear of a new Skywalker who has come from humble beginnings and has been fighting the First Order and doing extraordinary things in the name of good. She's already trained with the great Luke Skywalker recently, adding to her own fable. Now that she's with the Resistance and looking for allies to fight the First Order, people will begin to look to her for hope, a new hope for a new generation. It is very possible for others to be called Skywalker in Star Wars, as the term has already been used by others. So, for another to carry on that banner isn't such a crazy idea, now is it? And don't forget, if you like this type of content, you will be sure to love one of our brand new channels, Behind the Screen, where we will go even more in depth about inner workings your favorite movies. Use your Force powers to head over there and let them know we sent you. What do you think, though? Will the name Skywalker be seen as an honorary title going forward? Or will the Skywalker name die with Luke and become the stuff of myth in the Star Wars universe? Let us know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in your playlist every day. Thanks for watching.